So then you're building muscle, you're burning fat, you're enjoying life because you're going to eat a little bit more since you're doing the cardio. Hey man, Gary Walker here, and welcome back for another video. All right, this video is all about the recomposition. So how to do a body recomposition after 40. So if you don't know what recomposition is, basically when people have fitness goals, body goals, physical transformation goals, I usually get, I want to lose weight, I want to build more muscle, I want to do both. That is a recomposition. So it's that one goal that a lot of people out there say you can't accomplish. However, after being in the personal training business for close to 30 years, guess what? It's not only very possible, but very easy to do when you focus on the right components. Now, and when I say easy, that doesn't mean it's gonna happen overnight, but if you're consistent with doing some of these strategies, then you're going to be able to do both. What is both? Losing body fat and building and adding lean muscle tissue simultaneously. Now, with that said though, recomposition isn't for everyone. So if you got 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds of fat accumulation that you need to get off your body, then you really don't want to focus on a straight recomposition. Why? Because your goal needs to be to get the body fat off as soon as possible, because body fat is very unhealthy and can lead to a lot of chronic health issues. Now, with that being said though, even though your goal isn't going to be straight recomposition, you're still going to build some lean muscle tissue, because here's how building lean muscle tissue works. If you're somebody that's strictly lean, if you're 10% body fat or less, and you're trying to add more lean muscle tissue, it's gonna require a lot of calories. You're gonna have to eat in a large surplus to build muscle tissue. Now, take another person who has 40 pounds of excess body fat. So if you're 40 pounds overweight, you're gonna eat in a calorie deficit. Okay, so you gotta create a calorie deficit so your body will burn more body fat. Well, here's the cool thing about muscle. It doesn't care where the excess calories comes from, the excess energy comes from to build more muscle tissue. So what it will do, once you start resistance training, eating healthy, feeding your body good quality protein, your body is going to take the reserves, the fat that you have deposited that's being stored, and use that to fuel more muscle gain. So you're still gonna be able to recomp. However, you're just not gonna notice it as much because your priority is on body fat loss. That is going to be your main priority. So you're not gonna really be looking for a scale weight to tell you what's going on in your body. It's just looking for the scale number to go down. So that's basically what I wanna get out first. And then we'll go over some of the things that you need to do to get into that recomposition stage. So most everybody else, a lot of the guys out there don't really have a whole lot of body fat to lose. And your main goal is gonna be, hey man, I wanna build more lean muscle tissue. I wanna look bigger. I wanna feel stronger. I wanna be more confident. So it's the mental transformation that comes along with the actual muscle that you're accumulating as well. But you also wanna get the body fat off simultaneously. So when you're doing that, the main thing I'm gonna tell you to do is prioritize nutrition is one, but you wanna focus on one macronutrient in particular. That is going to be protein. So protein is the king of them all when it comes to building lean muscle tissue, but also burning calories. Here's how protein works. Protein has a high thermic effect of feeding. So you got three macronutrients. You got your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fats. Here's what the high thermic effect means. When you eat protein, your body's going to burn more calories to digest that protein, to assimilate it. If you're eating a carbohydrate, if you're eating a fat, your body still burns calories, but not as many calories. So that's why eating more protein is also gonna help you burn more fat. Plus, it's very satiating. So when you eat a lot of protein, you're gonna stay full longer, so you're not gonna have all of those same types of cravings. So that's gonna be one of the biggest things. Just prioritize your protein. I'm always gonna recommend between 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of your goal weight. So if you're 250 pounds, for instance, that doesn't mean get 250 grams because your goal weight's probably gonna be 200 pounds or so. Well, that's where you're going to calculate that number. Use your goal weight. That's gonna make all the difference in the world. Protein also needs to be broken out evenly throughout the day. So let's say you're gonna get 150 grams of lean protein daily. That doesn't mean do that in 2 meals. You really don't want 75 grams in the morning and then another 75 grams in the evening. That is a lot of protein to get at one time. So I always recommend 3 meals and 1 snack. That's 4 different chances to break up that protein. So if it's 150 grams, just break it up to where you can get it over 4 meals. It doesn't have to be evenly. You can get 40 for 1 meal, 20 for another, 30 for another. So you can evenly space it out if you want, or just break it up to where you get the full allotment of your protein, the 150 grams, within that full day. That's how simple it is when it comes to protein. Now, another macronutrient, even though I said the protein is the king, another one you really gotta be careful with is complex carbohydrates. You do want complex carbohydrates. Don't listen to the influencers out there that are saying that complex carbs are bad. Some carbs are bad, the sugars, the white breads, the pastries, but sweet potatoes, quinoa, obviously those aren't near as bad. They're not bad at all. That's what happens when somebody says carbs are bad. They lump all the carbs together. You still want the rice, potatoes, the beans, the quinoa, the fruits, the veggies. So those are all good quality carbohydrates. However, here's where the recomposition comes in. When your goal is to recomp, you need to make sure you're doing intense workouts. That's one thing. So you need fuel to get you through those intense workouts. The best fuel source is gonna be complex carbs. That's my preferred. It's one of the body's preferred, but the complex carbs are a great fuel source. So what I like to do with my clients is carb cycle, meaning in my program, you get 4 resistance training workouts per week. Those 4 days, you're gonna be earning your complex carbs. On those 4 days, eat your balanced meals. Get a good protein, a complex carbohydrate, and an essential fat. Do that for 3 meals. 3 meals like that, and then you can have your snack, whether it be protein snack, a protein and nut snack, protein smoothie snack, something like that. Now, the 3 days of the week, however, that you are not lifting weights, because 4 days resistance training means you get 3 days of rest and recovery from the weight training. Those 3 days, you don't need the complex carbs. You're not earning them. You're not working them. Okay, you're not using that energy. You don't need that energy. On those days, all of your carbohydrates are just gonna be fibrous carbs. You're not gonna get the rice, potatoes, the quinoa, the beans that I mentioned earlier. On those days, you're still gonna get a good solid protein, good essential fat, and then load up with veggies. Broccoli, asparagus, cauliflower, zucchini, all of those are going to be free. Eat as many veggies, fibrous carbs as you want with the protein and some essential fats. And that's how I carb cycle. It's pretty simple, but you're allowing your body enough carbs to fuel your workouts and recover and optimize your hormones, but not so many that they're gonna be stored as body fat. That's going to be the key. The next thing is just find a coach. Work with a coach, especially initially. If you're new to this, it can get really complicated. All right, follow our channel. We've got a lot of awesome information on our channel, a lot of very valuable information when it comes to nutrition and workouts and things like that. But be careful because there's a lot of bad information out there as well. So anyone can start a YouTube channel. Anyone could just start posting on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, whatever platform you're looking at. And I'll scroll through that several times a day, and there's so much bad information, especially for men 40, 50, 60, 70 and beyond. You gotta be careful with who you listen to and what they're saying. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. If it sounds gimmicky, like don't eat any carbohydrates, well, obviously that's a fad diet. You don't wanna follow any fad diets. Now, there are some people that may have medical issues, and there's a very small percentage that actually need to follow like a ketogenic diet, but most people do not. And here's what happens when it comes to ketogenic diet. I will say, because I've been a coach for so long, I coached people 20 years ago and I used keto for a while, and the results aren't sustainable. You can get some good results initially, but you set yourself up long-term for failure, rebound failure, and there's just too many issues that come along with it. So what I try to teach on this channel and my other platforms is sustainability. I don't want you to just get results on the, for the short term, this year, maybe next year, and then go back to not only where you were, but usually it's even worse. and then you just completely give up on your health and fitness goals for the rest of your life. I like to teach things that are sustainable because I want you to do this up into your 80s and even 90s if you get that opportunity. All right, so I've got 3 guys in my program that are in their 80s. I've got 15 in their 70s. So they're all over the place and they're doing phenomenal things. So you still can, as long as you're doing the right things. So just be very smart to, what you're hearing when you see something on, one of the platforms or something like that. If it makes 100% sense and it's something that people have been doing for years, if it's a new thing, guess what? If something ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm sure you've heard that forever. People have been losing weight. People have been building muscle. People have been doing things for a century or longer. But I just mean if something comes up in the past decade that no one used to do back in the day, obviously it's not necessary to do. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be too complicated. It's actually a very simple thing if you do these small components together. Now that leads me to the next one, which testosterone. You gotta make sure you're keeping your testosterone levels high. Several ways to do that. Obviously with the workouts, I'm talking about the resistance training, focus on compound movements, squats, some type of back row, overhead shoulder press, bench pressing. All of those are gonna help you stimulate your metabolism, also gonna help you boost your testosterone, also gonna get you stronger, build bone strength and density and all those things. So those are very beneficial to do. So make sure you're doing compound movements. The nutrition is paramount when it comes to stimulating your testosterone. So one of the things you got to focus on not only is eating good quality protein, like I mentioned, complex carbs, like I mentioned, but it's what you eliminate. Eliminate the processed foods, the fried foods, the fast foods, all those convenience foods, and the sugars. Eliminate those, replace those with the nutrient-dense whole foods that we talked about, and that's going to help you already with your testosterone levels. And then sleep. Sleep is going to be crucial. If you're not getting good sleep every night, and I say every night because if you spend 4 nights getting great sleep, 3 nights you don't sleep, then throughout that whole week, you're not really getting that consistent quality sleep that you need to produce the most testosterone. So you want to make sure you're doing things to get quality sleep each and every night, typically 7 to 9 hours. Make sure you're getting a few hours of deep restorative sleep to where you're dreaming and not just tossing and turning. So that's gonna be huge. All right, and the last thing is gonna be cardio, man. People don't like cardio, but cardio has phenomenal benefits. The thing I like about cardio is when your goal is recomposition, obviously you need to make sure you're maintaining your lean body tissue, which is muscle mass. You wanna maintain it. You don't wanna diet so severely, so strictly that you're just losing weight, not body fat, but just weight. When people go to extreme calorie deficits, then they start losing weight as opposed to just losing body fat. What's the difference? The difference is when you go extreme, you can actually lose muscle tissue. That's the last thing you want to do because you're going to sabotage your long-term goals. So you're losing weight initially, but in the next couple months, 3 months, 4 months, you're going to be slowing down and hitting a plateau because the loss of muscle tissue is going to slow down your metabolism. You're going to get weaker. So there's a lot of detrimental things that happen when you start losing any type of muscle tissue at all. So the thing about cardio, you can burn calories. You're not starving the calories off your body. So it's more like a 2-prong approach, all right? You're attacking it from multiple angles. So in a recomposition, I like to eat at maintenance. So if I eat 2,000 calories daily to maintain my current body weight, well, I will even stay there and clean up the type of foods I'm eating. 2,000 clean calories, and I will actually work out, which is gonna help me burn 200 to 300 calories. And then I will add a little bit of cardio, 15 minutes, 20 minutes every other day. Adding that cardio is gonna burn even more calories. So you're creating a calorie deficit without starving yourself, as opposed to the people that, I don't wanna work out. I don't wanna do cardio, but I need to lose weight for my health. So I'm just gonna create a big deficit. That sets themselves up for all that failure I mentioned because it's gonna start breaking down some of that lean muscle tissue. So the best thing to do is do all of these simultaneously. So you're gonna eat at maintenance or a slight deficit, say 200 calories under your maintenance. Do that consistently. Your 15 minutes of cardio, your 4 resistance training sessions. If you're doing that, you're gonna be burning some body fat. If you're lifting heavy enough, with enough intensity, focusing on some progressive overload to where you're challenging your muscles, stimulating your muscles, you're gonna be building muscle. So then you're building muscle, you're burning fat, you're enjoying life because you're gonna eat a little bit more since you're doing the cardio. So that is the perfect storm for recomposition. That's basically what you need to do. If you're doing those things, the nutrition, the protein, the either working with a coach or following along with our videos, if you're doing those things consistently and week in, week out, you will get phenomenal recomposition benefits. So you're gonna create a healthy environment, you're gonna create a better mental environment, you're gonna be more confident, you're gonna love what you're seeing in the mirror, and you're just gonna feel so much better about yourself, man. So thank you so much for watching this video. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. And as always, get busy, get after it, and God bless.